Hey, what up anyone is watching? This is View with Ice, and since the Wano Arc is finally at its end, I just felt that I had to revisit some of the absolute best showcases of power this legendary arc provided us with. Also, please like and subscribe for more anime related content. Moments like these is why I consider Wano to be Zoro's arc. Out of all the Straw Hats, I feel that he stood out the most, and this is one of the reasons why I say that. With only one swing of Enma, he proceeded to cut off an entire cliff. This tells us a lot about how incredible Enma is, but it also showed us how incredible of a swordsman that Zoro has become. This showcase even put a surprised look on Sanji's face. It is moments like these that show us that Zoro is a few levels above Sanji. Some may not like it, some may argue, but Zoro is truly Sanji's superior. This is a very quick class, but it gave us a little taste of a prime Rayleigh. Rayleigh has shown us on multiple occasions that even in his old age that he is still a force to be reckoned with. I am not sure what Marco's position was on Whitebeard's ship at this specific time in the story, but I'm gonna assume that he was still the right hand man of Newgate as we have seen him at Marineford. Marco was a little bit younger in this situation, so he could of course not be on the same level that we saw him at Marineford or in Wano, but he had his devil fruit power, so that automatically makes him a decently powered opponent. But Rayleigh made Marco look weak because he stopped a big attack from the Whitebeard pirate with only one finger. That really tells us a lot about how powerful Rayleigh is, and also makes the Roger pirates look even more incredible. I think you can bring up a lot of other showcases of power that are more impressive, but I chose Nico Robin to be on this list because we have simply never seen anything like this from the archaeologist. Robin is one of the crew members that has been somewhat held back ever since the start of the time skip. When Robin was first introduced in the Alabasta arcs, he came across as somewhat formidable, but that quickly changed over time and she was pushed back in the roster. And I have been waiting for such a long time for Robin to finally show us something different, to show us what her 2 years has given her, and finally against Black Maria it was shown, and Robin managed to defeat one of the strongest female characters in Wano. Since Nico Robin somewhat uses fishman karate, I hope that Zimbe could teach her more, and in the upcoming arcs, Robin could impress us again with different techniques. I know that she isn't a main fighter, but we are slowly but surely moving to the end of this wonderful adventure, and I just want to see something even more impressive out of the Owara Survivor. Over the years, we have seen multiple classes of ridiculous magnitudes in One Piece, but this one is just special to me. Roger is such a big figure in the story, but we almost never see him, and this Odin flashback was truly the greatest flashback we've ever gotten because it gave us this. We finally got to see a glimpse of why this character was the Pirate King. The reason why I love this one so much is that unlike the other classes that have simply split the clouds in the sky, this class completely blew the clouds out of the sky. I think this was just to put emphasis on how incredibly powerful a prime Whitebeard and Roger was. And now that Oda has teased us once again, because he always teases us, I hope he will give us a movie or a full arc on the Roger Pirates somewhere down the line, because I feel that every one of us deserves that. From his very first showcase of power in Impel Down, Zimbe has continuously amazed me with just how cool and powerful of a character he is. After watching all the other great battles that the Straw Hats went through, I think that Zimbe had the easiest one-on-one. Now, this doesn't mean that Who's Who was just a simple walk in the park, because he did a decent amount of damage against the Fishman, but when Zimbe finally snapped, he just made defeating the former government agent look easy. And just by the way Zimbe defeated Who, I fully believe that there is much more that we can expect from him. I would even go as far as to say that Zimbe could defeat Jack or Queen mid to high difficulty. This is one of the incidents that I just couldn't exclude from this video. This moment truly put everything in a certain perspective. What makes this moment so impactful to me is simply because Luffy has been defeated on so many occasions, but in almost every single one of those fights, he at least puts up a fight. This was one of the most one-sided fights in the entire story. Yes, it may have looked great with Luffy in Gear 4 Bounce Man relentlessly attacking Kaido, but all of those attacks basically did no damage. And another reason why Kaido taking Luffy out was so incredible is because at this point in time, Gear 4 Bounce Man was Luffy's strongest offensive form, and the former Yonko made it look stupid because he took out the Straw Hat Captain in his strongest form with only one shot. And the thing is, Kaido changed back to his normal form to do this. No dragon form, no hybrid form, just pure power. No matter how you look at it, this is easily one of the greatest moments ever in One Piece. I know Yamato is referred to as he, but Yamato is a woman and she is one of the strongest female characters that has ever been introduced to us, and this fight with Kaido solidified that statement. Kaido is of course far stronger than her, but she still put up an outstanding display against her father. Yes, I completely understand that Kaido could have defeated her if he switched up his game, but being able to make a Yonko bleed is impressive no matter how you look at it. Yamato is a character that quickly grew on me, and that is exactly why I was so sad when I found out that she wouldn't be joining the Straw Hat Pirates. Another powerhouse in the group would have been great. Ever since One Piece episode 316, I've always looked at characters who are able to do this incredible feat as top tier characters. When I saw this happen, I immediately knew that Luffy had ascended to a new level. I of course expected Luffy to reach this level one way or another, but it really surprised me in his clash with Kaido. Because this was the same Kaido who made Luffy look stupid when he one-shotted the Straw Hat Captain, but this just shows us how incredibly quick Luffy grows. With his advanced Haki training in prison, he was able to reach a new level of power and displayed one of the absolute best showcases of power that Wano has ever seen. I know Green Bull looks somewhat pathetic at the end of this arc, but I still think he had one of the best showcases of power. This is a character that has been hyped up for a very long time now, and although he turned out to be a little bit of a disappointment, he still made a big impression on me. Him being able to defeat King and Queen was incredible. Yes, I completely understand that King and Queen were not at 100% and they were still in the healing process, but after what they showcased to us in their respective fights, I kind of expected them to give Green Bull a little bit of a difficult time, but he made them look like absolutely no challenge and took them out without even breaking a sweat. He even made the retainers look like rookies during the fight. The only other character that could have made somewhat of a difference was Yamato, but their fight didn't go far because Momonosuke didn't allow Yamato to fight. I also just want to say that he is one of the coolest devil fruit powers to ever be introduced, truly an OP ability. I believe if the red hair pirates didn't show up, Green Bull would have defeated each and every one of the retainers. I really hope to see more of Green Bull in the future. Shanks kind of made him look like a punk, but I feel that it's also understandable since Shanks is on a completely different level. But I am really interested to see more of the Mori Morinomi. Now that the Wano Arc is finally at its end and I have processed everything that happened, I feel that this is the best fight. You're almost likely going to think I'm crazy for saying this because Luffy vs Kaido was such a spectacle, but Zoro vs King was easily the best fight in my opinion. The reason why I picked this over Kaido vs Luffy is the simple fact that their fight felt just a little bit dragged out. Now, while I'm saying this, I obviously love Kaido vs Luffy, but I have simply just rewatched Zoro vs King so much more because it is just so amazing. I have also previously stated that Zoro vs Mr. 1 was his best fight, but after rewatching Zoro vs King over and over again, I have finally changed my mind. I have come to reason, and now I consider this to be the best one-on-one that Zoro has ever given us. The reason for this isn't just because it was such a flashy, over-the-top and well-animated fight, it was also because of the little backstory we got from King. It is not every day that his opponents have backstories. He just normally comes in, has a great fight and moves on, but King's history did wonders to elevate this fight. And this fight just yet again showed us how great Zoro was, because King quite frankly outclassed him as a species, and Zoro had a lot of trouble controlling Enma mid-battle, but still managed to work everything out and defeat one of the strongest characters in the Wano Arc. I know I'm gonna sound like a lunatic, but I also enjoyed this fight more than Luffy versus Kaido. Everyone involved in this fight truly showed out and displayed some of the craziest techniques with their respective powers, but Law is the one that really stood out to me in this battle. No disrespect to my guy, Captain Kidd. The Ope Ope enemy is without a doubt in the top 10 of the greatest devil fruit abilities ever. Every time you see Law in a big fight situation, he keeps introducing more and more ridiculous things that this devil fruit is capable of doing. I also want to put a little bit of respect on Big Mom, because Law and Kid would have never been able to defeat her in a one-on-one fight. For a very long time, I've overlooked her devil fruit ability, but my eyes have truly been opened to the soul fruit. Just by the way Big Mom was destroying Captain Kidd, I saw that this power truly needs more respect. I could of course have focused on a different Odin moment to be included on this list, but I truly believe this is one of the most impressive things we have ever seen in One Piece. I would also say that this is one of the greatest feats by any character in this legendary story. Odin being able to cut Kaido was incredible, but I think that kind of pales in comparison with him standing in a pot of boiling oil for an entire hour. What makes his feat even more ridiculous is the fact that he carried all of his retainers on his back while basically burning alive, and survived the entire hour and then some, and was killed by a gunshot at the end of the day. But what makes this so much more impactful is just the simple fact that even though he endured a ridiculous amount of punishment to his body, he still died with a smile on his face. I've already voiced my opinion and said that Zoro vs King is the best fight in the Wano Arc, but Sanji vs Queen is simply my favorite. The reason why I love it so much is because in the trio of Luffy, Zoro and Sanji, the Cook's big moments never seem to be as big as the other two. Zoro and Luffy of course still had bigger spectacles in their fights, but I feel this was the first time that one of Sanji's fights really stood out and felt so impactful. Sanji using the rage suit made him more powerful, and with his newfound power he was able to up his game and elevate his attacking power even more and defeat Queen. But even in defeat, I also want to put a little bit of respect on Queen and his devil fruit power. Queen's DF doesn't look all that impressive, and honestly I feel it is a pretty boring power, but his ancient Zoan ability made him one of the most durable fighters in this entire arc. Just him having this ability made this entire fight more difficult for Sanji. A lot of people would most likely not care about this part, but I feel both parties need their respects. We have all known for years now how impressive Shanks' haki can be. The first time we truly saw this was episode 316, when Shanks came to Whitebeard's ship, and just with his haki alone he was able to knock out a lot of Whitebeard pirates and also actually physically damage the ship, and that was just him simply walking up to the former Yonko. The Marineford arc also showcased to us just how powerful an admiral can be, and we have seen admirals do incredible things, and that is exactly why this showcase of power is so impressive to me. I can understand Green Bull not being an Akainu, Aokiji Kizaru or a Fujitora, but he is still an admiral, which makes him one of the strongest forces in the One Piece verse, and Shanks made him look stupid. Shanks made Green Bull look kind of weak, and it didn't even look like Shanks was that serious when he did this. And what makes it even worse is the simple fact that Shanks was way out on his ship and Green Bull was on the island, and his haki still reached him over that distance and stopped him in his tracks. I just want to be alive the day that Oda finally decides to show us how powerful this character actually is. If Shanks can make an admiral level character look this stupid, how powerful is this man? The reason why I love Luffy's power up so much is that it actually takes time before he finally ascends to a different level. The time gaps between the discovery of each new gear makes the transformations so much more impactful. I am not gonna say that Gear 5 is my favorite form, but it has without question the best build up to any of his other transformations, and I also think that it is his best looking power up design wise. But this video isn't all about that, it is about showcases of power, and this new form truly delivered on that front. This new transformation was so powerful it made Kaido look stupid on a few different occasions, but the thing that has been engraved into my mind ever since I finished this legendary battle was when Luffy used Kaido as a jump rope. Yes, of course, Luffy being able to grab lightning was beautiful and amazing, but the fact that he was able to disrespect and flex on one of the strongest characters in the entire story by using his body as a jump rope truly showed us how ridiculously powerful Gear 5 was. I can tell you now that Luffy did a lot of mind-blowing things in this new form, but jump rope Kaido is truly one of the most disgusting flexes I have seen in any anime ever.